What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Throwdown. I'm your host, Jordan Thomas, the man with way too many acronyms. We're rocking FSC, we're rocking TSF, and coming back tomorrow, we are rocking TSS. Can't wait to get with you. And joined as always is my lovely co-host,
Mr. Chris Fox. You guys, I'm so glad you guys are back. Make sure you guys get back here for TSS. I know you guys have been waiting on them. The judge is back. Jesus is back. Like, they're all back, and it's all going to get crazy. FSC just keeps blowing up. Y'all want to be a part of it, come be a part of the party, because that's what this is. That effing sports show with Adam Holz. We're breaking down. We're going through every team, every division, running through the records. We're going to let you know who's going to make the playoffs. We're going to let you know who's going to make the Super Bowl. We're doing it division by division. Go check that out at That Effin Sports Show, EFIN, keyword on YouTube, your podcast, wherever you'll find it there. And it's a good time. Another good time is right here on the Weekly Throwdown with you, my friend. I think that this week, I hope you have some tissues, because I might make you cry this week. I'm feeling a little feisty. Her Majesty has just been on my mind all week, and there's just something, just a little attitude with me this week. So, I love you ahead of time, but yeah, it's about to go down.
We all know how it's about to go down. So without further ado, let's get this party started.
Let's go.
Your queen has arrived. Acknowledge me.
Play her horn.
Play that.
The Boston Celtics finally succumbed to the greatness of America's butler. Acknowledge him. And set up a showdown with the Denver Nuggets in the finals. Who do you got winning it all? The Heat or the Nuggets? The only answer is America's team. Bitches.
I like how she takes a pause to swear.
Yeah. I noticed that as well.
Nice.
So I'm going to go first on this one, because there's going to be a common theme tonight of me going first, me finishing first, and me being first. And much like I am going to be first when the dust settles, when everything is finally over, as much as I wanted it to be my man LeBron James standing there at the end to further prove he's the GOAT, listen, this is the year of Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler, Himmy Butler, whatever you want to call him, he is him. I don't know how many times I got to say it, Chris. Week after week after week since round one, right? I know I was on the LeBron James train. I get it. But on the Eastern side of this thing, I've been driving the bus for Jimmy Buckets. And I'm going to tell you, this Miami squad, it's not going to be deterred. It's not going to get slowed down. I get it. Nikola Jokic is great. Might be the best player in the world right now. Jamal Murray just had the series of his whole fucking life, right? They were the number one team in the West. They were the number one team in basketball this season. They have home court, the best home court advantage, right? Deck stacked against them. But you know what they don't have? They don't have him. They don't have Jimmy fucking Butler, who has had this deck stacked against him all playoffs. Round one, Giannis, best player in the world, 5 games. Second round, Knicks, we all knew they were going to beat those scrubs. Third round, the Boston Celtics, defending Eastern champions, took that ass out too, even let them come back so they could do it in Game 7 fashion. This is the Miami Heat year. This is the anointing, is Jimmy Butler, who has been one of the most overlooked and underrated superstars over the past decade, right? This guy's been ran out of a couple of places, been labeled as a bad teammate. Jimmy Butler's that dude. He's that dog, and he is absolutely proving it. So far this season, the Miami Heat 3-0 on the road in game one, about to be 4-0. Tyler Herro may be coming back this series. He may be my hero, baby. With all of that, the X factor, I think, for the Miami Heat more than anything, it's experience, man. Nobody from Denver's been here. They haven't been to this stage except for Contavious Caldwell Pope, who no one really gives a shit about in the grand scheme of things, right? Everybody on Miami has been here. Jimmy's been here. Bam's been here. Kyle Lowry's been here. And the X factor of this series, I know I'm getting long-winded, but I'm passionate, baby. The X factor of this series is Coach Eric Spoelstra, one of, if not the best coach in the league, and definitely the best coach in this series. Coaching and defense wins championships in the NBA, and both of those metrics favor the Miami Heat heavily.
Well, I mean, I don't mind you getting a little long-winded. I got a little tear in my eye here. I mean, I like the passion. I like everything you're saying. But long-winded is the word, because that's all you're doing is blowing a bunch of wind in people's faces. Everybody knows who's going to win this series, and it's not to take anything away from Himmy. Himmy has been amazing. You're absolutely right. He's established himself among the elite. The question has always kind of been there. I think it's this journey through all these issues and these problems and these teams. I think he's finally starting to live up to where he should be. I got no problem with his acronyms being him. I got no problems with Miami being here. They earned it. They deserved it. They could have just given up in that game 7 after Boston comes back, and they put the smack down like they needed to do. And that shows
Throwdown
caliber of players you're dealing with here. And these guys have skill. They got love for each other. They want this championship, and Miami wants to win this game. The problem is they're going against the Denver Nuggets. Look, I don't really have to spend a lot of time on this, do I? I mean, Jokic, he's the reigning MVP. He's averaging a triple-double throughout the playoffs. Almost 30 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. You mentioned Murray. Murray's averaging almost 25 points. They got freaking Porter. They got Gordon, Malone as a winning record in the playoffs. And let's not forget that these guys played each other twice this year. And you know who won? It was the Denver Nuggets. Both times. It's going to happen again. Miami's going to win some games. We're going to get a good series out of this. They're a great team, but have no doubt that when the smoke clears at the end, and there's going to be smoke because this is going to be an all-out war. It's going to be fun to watch, but there is nobody delusional enough to think that the Nuggets aren't walking away with this trophy.
I am.
You want it. You want the underdog to win. That's how we do it in the good old US of A. But in this case, the Nuggets are going to win this championship. It's going to be a great series. We're all winners for Miami having been here. Miami's a winner for having gotten here. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun to watch. But in the end, Denver's going to come off it. That said, the Kissassery continues. Go ahead, Your Majesty.
Point, Jordan.
There it is. Always. As
all winners here, I'm just more of one. So, Queenie, baby, what's next?
The Arizona Cardinals officially let DeAndre Hopkins walk. We could probably do some purging of talent around here too. Where will DeAndre Hopkins play next season?
Well, you know what? I'm going to take it because she said talent. She said purging of talent. So she acknowledged our talent before admitting that, that it might need to go. D-Hop got the same deal in Arizona. They knew they had talent, but they admitted that it was time for D-Hop to go. Hopkins has very clearly stated what he's looking for: stable management, a quarterback who loves football, great defense. That takes most of the NFL out of the picture in one round or the other. Cleveland, Watson, and Hopkins getting back together. You don't have the defense. You don't have the management. and a quarterback who loves football is even questionable. So I know exactly what people want. They want Kansas City to pull this one down. Kansas City's a great spot for him to go. They could use him. They've got the quarterback who loves football. They've got the stable management. They've got a great defense. What they don't have is the money. They've got less than $500,000 in cap space. And I know cap space is kind of the mythical story in the NFL, and people make things happen, but that's a lot of things to make happen to free up the $20 million that D-Hop's looking for. Now, look, OBJ kind of screwed it up for everybody by getting his 15 mil. So someone's probably going to have to fork over at least 15.1 mil to get Hopkins. But so that said, there's only a couple teams that fit all the criteria and have the ability to pay the guy what he wants. A lot of people want to look at the Bills. Quarterback that loves football, stable management, great defense, but they can't afford him either. They only got 1.5 left in cap space. They would have to make a lot of changes, and they've already kind of committed to this 2 tight end deal that they got going on down the road. I don't think they can make the changes needed to get Hopkins in there. So if not Kansas City, then who? Because that's really the question. If Kansas City doesn't pull the trigger and figure things out, then that means someone else is going to do it. I'm going on the other side of the Super Bowl last year. What about Philly? What about those Eagles? $13 million in cap space, amazing quarterback who loves football, super management team, outstanding defense, has only gotten better. The biggest issue in Philly is target share because Hopkins wants his balls. Hopkins averages 9+ receptions per game. There's so many good receivers in Philly right now that even Brown only had 8.5, which is close, but you throw Hopkins in there, everybody's target share goes a little bit lower. And I don't know if that's what D-Hop's looking for. At this point in his career, maybe having a little help around the ball is something that would look good to him, because ultimately with all these requirements, what he's really asking for is a shot to get him a well-deserved ring. And Philly, if not KC, is a great place for him to do that.
Okay. First of all, you've been hanging out with Flanders too much because I don't want to hear that Philadelphia bullshit on the Weekly Throwdown. But
it's just a fact.
But listen. If DeAndre Hopkins wants to win a ring, he's going to go to Kansas City, right? If DeAndre Hopkins wants to play with the best quarterback on planet fucking Earth, he's going to go to Kansas City. If DeAndre Hopkins wants all of the wide receiver targets that he can handle, he ain't going to Philly. He's going to Kansas City. Look, we've already seen what this Chiefs offense can do, right? I'll get there. We've already seen what this Chiefs offense can do with an elite wide receiver one. We watched Tyreek Hill of America's team and Travis Kelce tear that shit up for years, right? I'm not saying D-Hop is Tyreek at this stage of his career because I don't think he is. However, he's still that dude. He's still that number one. D-Hop last season averaged, coming off of an injury, coming off of suspension, still averaged 7 catches for 80 yards a game with a banged up, Kyler Murray, right? D-Hop still got some gas in that tank. And here's the thing, Chris Fox, you kind of flirted with it, right? You put your arm around it a little bit, but you didn't close the deal on it. Listen, the salary cap, money in the NFL, it's a fucking myth, right? If Patrick Mahomes wants DeAndre Hopkins, if Travis Kelce wants DeAndre Hopkins, there are contracts that can be maneuvered around. There's money that can be cleared up. It's going to be a 1-year deal. He's going to get it done. He is going to the defending champion, not the runners-up, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Not happening.
Point, Chris.
You got to follow the money, man. You always got to follow the money, and Kansas City just doesn't have it. Speaking of money,
real quick, before you say that money, right? I just feel like the Queen really hesitated there because she really did not want to give you that damn point. Anyway, say what you got to say.
We both made a great point.
Mine was just better.
Kansas City's the spot to go for 100%, but D-Hop wants to get paid, and he can't get paid in Kansas City. But you can get paid. You can get a free $100. You want to know how to get a free $100? Tell him. Run that beautiful beam.
Gingerbread!
Free $100.
Underdog Fantasy is here to save your post-fantasy football season blues. The easiest place to play and win. with the Underdog Fantasy app. Get up to 20 times your money in a single night with our Pick'em contests. Grab some insurance when setting your picks and win even when one pick fails. Go online now and use the promo code THROWDOWN to double your deposit up to $100. Sit gingerbread, good girl.
Love me some gingerbread. That's
Gingerbread
where it's
wants
at.
to
All
give
right.
you a free $100. Go get it.
$100.
$300 for typing a couple words in there. Go to Underdog, type in the code, get a free $100. It's that easy.
Yeah.
Say it every
And then
week.
put into TSS Fantasy, so all season, and the FS Sports Show, so all season we can tell you who to put in those slots and win that money. Anyway, speaking of winners, I got a match to win. So, Queen, your Majesty.
Jaylen Brown took a page from you two clowns and was a complete shit show in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Will the Celtics bring back Brown, or was that his final game as a Celtic?
God, okay, I'll go first here, man. Chris Fox out here hit me hard, but my Royal Majesty's coming with the heat today. I love it. Jaylen Brown, man, listen, they're gonna get the deal done. It's 100%. It's gonna happen. However, he has also played his last game in Boston. You cannot trot this same squad out next season that just completely, no-showed in Game 7 after you battle back from 3 games to none. You got Jaylen Brown out there looking like an old school boomer highlight, just rumbling, bubbling, stumbling, losing that damn ball everywhere, right? And I love Jaylen Brown. I do. I think he's a hell of a player. I actually like Jaylen Brown quite a bit more than I like Jason Tatum. I'm not saying he's better, right? I'm not saying he's better, but I'm saying who would I rather have on my team? I think Jaylen Brown's a better Robin than what Jason Tatum is a Batman. That's what I'm trying to say. But listen, this core, as good as it's been, it's not going to work. They need a ball handler. They need that guy that can facilitate this offense. It ain't Jaylen Brown. It ain't Jason Tatum. The time is now to make that work, right? So this next contract Jaylen Brown's going to get, he's going to end that contract making $66 million a season. Do you think the Boston Celtics are going to be able to afford all that depth with a $66 million contract on their books? Hell no, they're not. They're going to take him. They are going to give him a supermax that is absolutely deserved, and they're going to sign and trade and ship his ass off somewhere. I don't know if that's Atlanta. I don't know if that ends up being, one of another number of other places. Please bring him to Dallas. I'd love to have him next to Luka. He is not going to be back with the Celtics next season.
Look, you can't dog the guy and then say you want him back in Dallas. He plays these little fucking games.
I love Jaylen Brown. I ain't dogging him. I ain't dogging him.
You brought up the right point. The big argument is always going to be the money. Everywhere you go, it's going to be money, 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 money. And here's the problem that the Celtics have. They got 2 guys, Tatum and Brown, making the biggest salaries, almost $300 million between them. I don't have a lot of time to sit here and try and break down the details and the inner workings of how extensions work and the 6-year Supermax option and all that. So I'm going to make it real simple for the Queenie over there. The Celtics have to get under 162 million tax threshold so that they don't get hit when there are $72 million in essential fines. They're only $4 million over. That doesn't mean that they have to get rid of either Jaylen Brown or Tatum to make that happen. It means they only got to get rid of $4 million. So you don't get rid of a guy who is one of only 7 players to average 27 points and shoot over 50% after the All-Star break. You don't do that, especially not to save a lousy $4 million. Now you look at a guy like, say, Grant Williams. Grant Williams needs $8.5 million before June 29th, or he becomes a restricted free agent. But Chris, Grant currently sits atop top 10 of all 3-point shooters by percentage, all right? Dumb, all right? Yeah, good enough to be kicked out of the rotation during the first 2 rounds. Grant Williams wasn't even there. How much does Grant Williams mean to the team? He doesn't, okay? They don't want to play him. They don't want to pay him. They don't have to pay him. Not doing so means Brown stays. They can still get someone else in there, draft lower paid guy, whoever they want to do. They keep the core that's gotten them this far in the playoffs for the past 2 years. they just got to find a way to get it done. So keep Brown, keep Tatum, keep your talent. Brown will be a Celtic next year. And what we really should be asking is who can they get for a top 3-point shooter like Grant Williams?
Point, Jordan.
Okay.
Well, I figure once I kicked in the accent, I think I probably got rid of
Baseball
that point,
season is in full swing. See what I did there, boys? It's called showmanship. What has been the biggest surprise so far this season for you two baseball experts? Ha ha.
Little delayed there, Your Majesty, Your Highness. I'm going first on this one.
You want to take this one?
I want to. Oh, no. Go ahead. I went first last time. You're right.
I don't care.
No, you're right.
You go. I'll beat you either way. It doesn't matter. You can go first. You can go last. It don't matter. Because look, someone. I already bet I know you are. Without even saying anything, you're probably going to say that the Rays are the biggest surprise this season. Look, what the Rays are doing is absolutely insane. They're 40-18, absolutely amazing. But that's not the biggest surprise because they were already supposed to be good. The Oilers are only 4 games back behind them. So if the Rays are such a big surprise, then aren't the Oilers as well? The Yanks are only 6 games back, climbing out of the sewer. So where's that one? No, for me, it's not just one team. It is the absolute power and domination that the AL East has just instituted on the entire freaking league this year. The Celtics, the Central's first place team, the Twins would only be 0.5 games up on the AL East last place team, Red Sox. Even the Rangers would only be half a game up on the Yankees for third place. In the West, second and third place teams could only rank 4th and 5th in the East. You can go over to the national side if you want to and bring them into the game as well, because first place Atlanta, 4th place in the East. First place Brewers, 4th place by half a game. First place Dodgers, 4th again. AL East, killing everybody. They're killing the entire game. The talent is there. They're dominating. To me, free agency was supposed to fix all this. This is the biggest surprise, that one division can just absolutely dominate the entire game the way the AL East is right now.
So I just want to say the Oilers play in the NFL, but you're right. The AL East, they've been laying it down. They've been tearing it up, right? Listen, they've won 13 more games in the American League West, and the American League West features the sorry-ass Oakland Athletics. Man, are you kidding me? The biggest surprise of the year is my Texas Rangers, okay? Coming into this season, Texas had the 18th best odds to win the Super Bowl, currently second best record in the major leagues, albeit behind the Rays, right? Good job for them in the East. The Rangers are tearing it up. They have the most they have the best batting average in the majors, the most runs in the majors, most of that without Corey Seager. They have the 3rd best ERA in the league, most of that without Jake DeGrom. Listen, this Texas Rangers team is here. They are for real. Nobody saw it coming, and we are running short on time, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I know you're going to win, but Queenie, what's up?
Point, Chris.
You can't dominate like that and not win the point.
Seth Rollins won the inaugural heavyweight championship. Unbelievably, one of you clowns are about to win a title yourselves. Who will drop their title first, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns?
Oh, this one's easy. Go ahead.
This one is easy. Are you kidding me? Who's going to drop their title first?
Yeah.
It's Seth freaking Rollins. It's Seth freaking Rollins. We're at 1,005 days and fucking counting for Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him. 1,005 days, right? I'm not even sure if Seth Rollins has wrestled 1,005 days in his life. Are you kidding me? I know he has, but I'm just saying, 1,005 freaking days. That title is not coming off Roman Reigns until a WrestleMania. This new title was designed so people could pass it around. Roman is here. He's now, and he ain't going anywhere.
But it's nice to say, look, I'll agree with you that neither of these guys are giving up this title anytime soon. But who's going to lose it first? It won't be Seth freaking Rollins, baby. Why? Because who's going to take it? Is Lesnar going to come take it? A little bit long in the tooth for that. Cody Rhodes? No way. Cody's too focused on Lesnar right now. And honestly, Cody might be a little too big for this storyline. He's a superstar on his own. He doesn't need this storyline to go. Baylor absolutely could be coming for this title, but it's not going to be anytime soon. They want Seth to sit there in this slot. Roman, huge target on his back from not just the WWE wrestlers, but from the fans as well. I think they're kind of getting tired of it. I think they're kind of getting bored with it, and they're waiting for a change. Entering players like Baylor, who I love for this spot to come after Reigns. Bobby Lashley would be an amazing challenger, and Lashley has beat Reigns before. The Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, has beaten the Tribal Chief on more than one occasion. And let's not forget the man himself, Seth frickin' Rollins, baby. Rollins has a whopping 10 wins against Reigns. 10. And yeah, the 2014 one doesn't really count because Reigns wasn't there. And you can argue that Reigns DQ'd himself last year. Whatever. Inch or a mile, winning is winning. Seth frickin' Rollins is the champ. He has every incentive to go get, we'll call it the real title from the Tribal Chief, and he can do it. I will end on this, though. Wouldn't it be fun if Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns rekindled their friendship and just kind of bogarted both these titles from the entire wrestling community for a while? That might be fun to watch. What do we got, Queenie?
Even though every time I award you bums anything it makes me throw up in my mouth a little, the taste was a little less bitter this week when I heard Jordan. You are our weekly throwdown champion.
Now there's a taste.
Winner, Jordan.
Man, it feels good to be back on top. But you know, for every top, there's always a bottom.
Loser, dumb ass Chris.
Thank these. You call me dumbass. Play kind
You got knocked the fuck out.
I never get tired of seeing that. So it's my final take. Queenie, play my music. The trumpet, Queen. Let's go. God, that feels awesome. Anyway, it's my final take, and it is time to acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. I'm not talking about Roman Reigns. I'm not even talking about the greatest basketball player to ever live, LeBron James. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about the son of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I am talking about Jimmy Butler. For years, this guy has gone overlooked. For years, this guy has been underrated. And all this dude has done is put in that work time after time, year after year. And this has been a beautiful run to watch. You have all of these exciting players. I'm a huge Luka fan, right? Maybe the best offensive player in the league. Jimmy Butler dominates the game on both ends. And he's been doing it for years. He's going to continue to do it. The super fan in me is rooting with all I got for this guy. I do think he's going to pull it out because I think he just has it in him. This is a magical run. It's not going to be derailed by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and those boys in Denver. This is the time to anoint him. This is Jimmy Butler. This is the greatest run of his life, and it's going to be solidified and capitalized on by not a heavyweight championship, by an NBA championship. So that's it for today, boys and girls. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Fantasy Sports Corporation. Special thanks to our partners once again, Gingerbread and Underdog. Make sure you do like my boy David Genus, and you go and download that Underdog app. Throw down $100, throw down the code Throwdown, and we will match it for you. We'll be back next week where I'll whoop Chris's ass one more time. It's the Throwdown. Thanks for tuning in.